The movie opens with Barryallen, better known for his superhero name, the Flash member of the Justice League, when his mother Nora got murdered and his father Henry got arrested for a crime he didn't commit. Barry was determined to prove his father's innocence. Barry was already running late for work when he received a call about a robbery gone wrong in Gotham City. Barry used his super speed to help and protect the people of the city from the sinkhole, while Batman chased down the terrorists after helping Batman. He immediately went to work, where he got reprimanded again for being late after work. Barry and his friends saw their boss talking to reporters just outside the research center. Upset at what he heard, Barry walked away, not realizing that one of the reporters had noticed him. The reporter called his name, and Barry realized that the reporter was actually a woman named Iris West, whom he went to school with. The two of them walked together, catching up. Barry learned that Iris knew about his father getting arrested and that she was actually working on a paper about it. Barry defended his father and told Iris that his father didn't kill his mother. Upset, Barry walked away from Iris. Barry went back to his apartment, where he saw a package in front of his door. He checked the package and called his father in prison. Barry was talking about proving his father's innocence, but Henry told Barry that it was fine and that he prefers to stay in prison then be reminded that his wife is gone. Barry went back to their old home and remembered what had happened prior to his mother's death. They were a happy family then, until one day Barry heard her mother screaming, and when she went to check, he saw his father beside his mother, who was stabbed. That was the day that Barry lost his mother, and his father got arrested for a crime he didn't commit. Overcome by his emotions, Barry accidentally opened and entered a portal that could bring one back to a certain event in the past. After realizing what had happened, Barry decided to tell Bruce about it and disregarded Bruce's warnings, when the latter said that being able to run at the speed of light and go back to a certain part of the past would have consequences. Iris visited Barry's apartment, and the two of them had a talk. Barry showed Iris the footage of his father in the store, buying the tomatoes his mother was asking for, when he suddenly realized something. Barry figures out that if he can travel back to the past using a speed force, then he could change the course of his mother's life, and he might just be able to save his mother from being murdered and his father from being arrested. Barry quickly leaves his apartment, leaving Iris behind, using speed and force. Barry traveled back to the time his mother was buying groceries, since Nora forgot to buy tomatoes. When she was buying groceries, she had to tell Henry to buy him some, and when Henry was out buying tomatoes, that's when Nora was attacked and killed. Barry wanted to change that, to prevent his father from leaving the house without interacting with anyone from the past. When he arrived in the past, he put a can of tomatoes in his mother's basket and left the timeline immediately after. While traveling, he saw images of his mother still alive, when suddenly someone punched him out of the speed force. Barry realized that she ended up in an alternative 2013, where Barry's mother was still alive. It was the same day he first got his powers, changing his clothes. He went inside the house and was so happy to see his mother alive and well. He left later on to avoid any more interruptions, only to bump into himself. He covered his face, but the other Barry in that timeline managed to take the boxers off his face and fainted when he saw they both looked alike. When the other Barry woke up, Barry explained everything to him and showed him his powers when it started raining. Barry asked the other Barry what day it was to avoid confusion. We will call the other Barry 2013. Barry 2013. Barry answered that it was September 29th, and Barry realized that it was the day he first got his powers. Barry panicked because 2013, Barry needed to get those powers. If not, there's a possibility that present-day Barry would lose powers too. They went to the research center and sneaked inside. In 2013, Barry learned that he was going to be electrocuted before he got his powers. He tried to leave, but Barry pushed him back down. Suddenly, lightning struck the two of them. 2013. Barry was dizzy after getting struck by the lightning, so Barry had to carry him out as they were going to leave the research center. Barry was shocked when he realized that he had lost his powers. Barry took 2013. Barry back to his room, where he got overly excited after learning that he now has powers. 2013. Barry ran out using his super speed, and because he still wasn't used to the powers he now has, he lost control and caused an accident in the middle of the road. He went back home naked, and Barry tried talking to him, but he kept on doing silly things and not listening to Barry at all. The next day, they went to the park, and Barry let 2013 Barry borrow his ring, which had his suits on. 2013. Barry activated the ring and used his super speed to put on the suit. They then noticed the other people panicking over something, so they went to check it out. And Barry realized that it was Zod. He explained to 2013 Barry who Zod was and what was going to happen. Now that Zod was here, he then states that he's going to find the other Justice League members to ask for help in stopping Zod in an apartment where 2013 Barry's friends are. He checked on the internet about the other superheroes, but learned that they weren't around by that time yet, seeing as there were no other superheroes yet. At the time, the two Berries decided to look for Bruce Wayne in the Wayne Manor. They entered the manor and looked around. A bearded man was seen sneaking up behind them, and he suddenly attacked the two Berries. When the man was down, Barry asked the man who he was, and they learned that the man was actually the alternate version of Bruce Wayne. Barry told Bruce about Batman in his timeline. They also learned that this alternate version of Bruce Wayne has retired from crime fighting and is now staying alone at his manor. The two Berries then convinced Bruce Wayne to help find Kal-El, better known as Superman, but Bruce Wayne refused and left them alone. Barry LED 2013 Barry to the covered well near the manor. He got 2013 Barry to go through and open the door from the inside, and the two of them went down the well. Barry opened the lights, revealing Bruce Wayne's Batcave. Barry used the computer to look for any unidentified objects entering the Earth's atmosphere anywhere near Kansas in the last 50 years, while 2013 Barry kept on playing around. At some point, Barry had had enough of 2013 Barry and not taking things seriously, and the Berries had an argument, but the two of them talked it out later and apologized to each other. When Barry went back to doing his thing on the computer, he noticed that a camera was turned on and pointed at him. He knew Batman was watching, so he called out to Batman. Barry talked about what Bruce told them, that there are certain intersections that are always inevitable. He mentions that 2013 Bruce and the Bruce in Barry's timeline both have an Alfred, and despite the fact that they're in a different time, there are still things that are exactly the same as the ones in Barry's timeline. Later on, Barry was seen sleeping. He woke up and read through the file in front of him. There he learned that Clark, or Superman, was being held by a mercenary group in a Siberian black site in Russia. He woke Barry up and told him that they needed to save Superman, but the latter asked how they were going to get to Russia. Suddenly Batman's jet landed in front of them. Batman had put on his Batman suit and decided to help the two Berries. The two Berries entered the jet, and they flew away going to Russia. When they arrived at the black site, they used a parachute to land. They attempted to sneak inside, but 2013. Barry is so clumsy that he accidentally made noise. The scientists in the room saw them and sounded the alarm. The guards arrived and started shooting at the two Berries until Batman flew down, knocking out everyone. The three of them then approached a Kryptonian pod. Batman tries to hack the Soviet security cyber scrotum with a phone, and 2013. Barry decided to try all combinations and actually managed to open the pod, but instead of Superman, they saw Kara, or Supergirl. Instead, they rescued Kara and ran away from the facility only to be cornered. Kara, now out of the Kryptonian pod, gained strength and easily beat everyone. They brought Kara to Wayne Manor and let her rest. When she woke up, Barry reminded her that they went to the black site to find Kal-El, but found her instead. When Kara asked them why they were looking for Kal-El, Barry said that he was friends with Kal-El. They realized that Kal-El and Kara's pods got separated, and only Kara's pod made it to Earth. Kara saw the news playing behind the two Berries and saw that Zod was on Earth. She put on her Supergirl suit, and when 2013 Barry noticed that Kara was having a hard time due to her headache, he asked her if she was feeling fine. Kara showed him by destroying a statue just by blowing on it. Meanwhile, Barry and Bruce were talking. Barry requested for Batman to recreate the original accident so he could get his powers back, but it failed and almost killed Barry. Seeing his situation, 2013, Barry tried to stop them, but Barry refused and asked Batman to electrocute him again before passing out. Kara then carried Barry up, taking him into the storm. Barry got struck by lightning and finally gained his powers back. 2013. Barry gave him back his ring and showed off the suit he made for himself. They prepared to fight Zod and his forces. The two Berries decided to fight Zod's men to slow them down for Kara, who was facing Zod. Meanwhile, Kara learned that Zod intercepted infant Kal-El's journey to Earth and killed him when he realized that Kal-El didn't have the growth codex they were looking for now. Thereafter, Kara, as she is the one who has the codex, enraged. Kara attacked Zod, while Batman was seen fighting Zod's ships. At first they seemed to be winning. That was until Bruce's jet got hit, and Zod killed Kara before retrieving the codex from her. Bruce decided to sacrifice himself and hit one of Zod's ships with his jet. The two berries traveled back through time so they could have another chance to save Batman and Supergirl. But it still ended, same way Kara and Bruce still died, desperate. 2013. Barry tried to travel back through time again. Barry stopped him, now having realized what Bruce meant. He said going back to the past still wouldn't stop. The inevitable Barry told 2013 Barry he only went back in time so he could try and save his mother. But Barry now knows that saving her wouldn't fix anything. It would only change the course of the world for the worse. So Barry planned on undoing what he'd done 2013. Barry refused, angry. Barry was giving up, just like that. He believes that he can save everyone, that nobody will die. Barry reminded the other Barry about what their mother used to tell them. Not every problem has solutions, and sometimes it's better to let go. It only angered 2013 Barry further, as he thinks Barry was just going to let their mom die. 2013 Barry ran away, and just as Barry wanted to chase after him, he was stopped by the Dark Speedster, who once knocked him out of the Speed Force. It was then revealed that the Dark Speedster was actually the future 2013 Barry, who spent years trying to save the world from Zod. He made Barry create him and knock him out of the Speed Force so he could proceed with his plan when he learned that the original Barry was going to get on his way by reversing the timeline. The future 2013 Barry decided to kill him. The future 2013 Barry moved to stab Barry, but 2013 Barry jumped in front of him and sacrificed himself. Since 2013, Barry and the future 2013 Barry were one. They both died after the incident. After that, Barry travelled back to the time when her mother forgot the can of tomatoes Nora saw him, and since he was supposed to still be a child at that time, she didn't recognize him. She only thought that he was a sad guy and comforted him. Barry froze the time and took the can of tomatoes from Nora's cart. He cried as he looked at his mother one last time before putting the can of tomatoes back on the shelf, ready to go back to his own timeline. However, he saw the camera and decided to make a minor change to create new evidence that would help prove his father's innocence. He went back to the present and made his way to court where the trial had begun. The lawyer showed the now changed footage of Henry taking a can of tomatoes from the top shelf, which showed his face to the camera, proving that he wasn't at the scene when the crime happened, and proving his innocence after the trial. He received a call from Bruce, who congratulated him on winning the trial. Then Bruce arrived, and Barry was shocked to see a different man. Due to Barry's timeline change, Bruce's appearance has changed once again. In a post-credits scene, Barry was seen telling a drunk, Arthur Curry, also known as Aquaman, about his travels through the multiverse.